All right, Caleb here with Explore Niagara, and today we're exploring Becker Farms in Gasport, New York, so here we go. So they have a country market here where you can buy homemade apple cider, pies, pumpkins, there's a gift shop inside, ice cream, anything that you would need. Becker Farms is a great place to take your kids. They have this huge playground here with these massive swing tires, slides, and all different other playground activities for them. Becker Farms is also a great place to feed the animals like goats, alpacas, and cows. All right, we're here with Mindy, the owner of Becker Farms, and I know that people are interested to learn a little bit about your history. Tell us a little bit about Becker Farms and your story.
Okay, well, the history is pretty long. It started in 1894 with my great-grandfather. He was the first one to buy the farm. My grandfather was born and died in the little house that's now our farm market. We call it the farmhouse market. The farm then went to my mother, and my father wasn't really a farmer, but he kept the farm going part-time. And I grew up here. I enjoyed the farm. I was in 4-H. I raised horses and boarded horses. I raised calves. I did all those fun things when I was young. Wow. So that was back in the 70s, you know, you grow up. And I really enjoyed the farm, but I wanted to know what else was out there. Mm-hmm. So after high school, I took some time off and I traveled around the world for a couple of years. And then I realized that I really did enjoy agriculture, and a lot of people in the world didn't know anything about it. I knew more just by growing up on a farm than a lot of people do. So when I came back, I went to school to Delhi Ag and Tech for agriculture, and that's where I met my husband, Oscar. Okay. He was going for landscape architecture. Wow. So I turned him into a farmer, or he turned me into a farmer, I'm not sure. But he's an immigrant from Peru. He came when he was 16, and he was working his way through school. And he showed me that I shouldn't leave my family farm, because my idea was to do like international agriculture and aid for, you know, underdeveloped countries. And he said, if you want to save the world, you can start by saving one. You can save me. Wow, his world. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was so nice talking with you and meeting you. Wish you nothing but success. Thank you. And we're here with Heather. Heather, why don't you tell us what you do here on the farm?
Hi, I'm Heather. I am part of the family at Becker Farms. I have done a little bit of everything here. I help with the agriculture, I help taking care of the animals, I do a lot of random things like school tours, and then I also do their social media marketing currently.
Awesome. Why don't you tell us about where we are right now?
We are in one of our apple orchards. We have a couple different orchards that we pick in. This is one of our medium-sized ones. We're in front of some Crispin apples here that are not quite ready. They'll be ready shortly.
So how many acres would you say of land is apple orchard?
We farm about 80 of our 340 acres. A lot of that is apples. The apple is our biggest crop here. We do strawberries, we do blueberries, raspberries, and some produce, but apples makes up probably 2/3 of that 80 acres that we farm.
And would you say there's some challenges there with growing apples? What would you say is the most challenging thing about it?
The apples, as the weather patterns change, have been a little more difficult as far as their spraying schedules are changing so that you don't end up with worms in your apples. And then also we deal with things like frost. Luckily, we're in a bubble here where a lot of the other farms in the area get impacted by late frosts, and even this year they've lost a lot of their apples, and we are in this weird bubble because we're about 6 miles from Lake Ontario. So we usually get missed by that kind of stuff. So we are lucky that we usually don't have those issues. But I'd say the weather changing, so like frost damage, deer damage is a huge thing. They love to eat baby apple trees. And then, like I said, with some of the hot, dry summers, the spraying schedule has had to change because the normal schedule isn't keeping up with the pests.
Gotcha. And that bubble that you mentioned, is that because you're in between the lakes and kind of...
I believe so. It's like a microclimate. So like we are a little warmer here than on the lake, and then a little warmer than if you go towards like Buffalo.
So that's kind of a blessing and can be a curse sometimes. It's
It
good
can,
for the soil,
yeah, it's
but...
good. It's good for the most part because we don't tend to get the late frosts. We usually stay just like a little bit above the temperature that really does the damage. And I have friends even in Lockport, which is not far from here, that will get damage that we don't get. So that could always change, but right now we're in that little bubble, so it's really nice.
All right, we are standing here at the top of Becker Mountain with the mega slide next to me and the corn maze behind us. And one other thing that this makes me think of is school trips. Do you get a lot of school trips?
We do. In the fall, we do a lot of school trips. We do them during the summer as well, but in the fall, the apple picking school trips are super popular. We get kids from all over. They come, we do a talk in our 150-year-old barn. They learn about farming, the history of farming, and then they go out and pick their apples or pumpkins. Then they take a wagon ride back and we tell them about the animals and they feed the animals. And then during the summer we do strawberries, we do more daycare groups, stuff like that.
Amazing. And would you say that's important for kids today to come to a farm like this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of our favorite things because we love to see kids that come from the city that maybe don't always get to experience these open spaces and that don't necessarily know a lot about agriculture and how it works, and they're usually super enthusiastic about it, and it's really fun to interact with the kids that come here.
I love it, and I can say that I was one of those kids that came from the city.
We hear that all the time. All the time we get adults here. I came here as a kid, and that's like very special to our business that we get people that come back after so many years.
Wow, what an incredible trip through the farm. Whether you want wagon rides, apple picking, pumpkin picking, you want some fresh apple cider, this place is for you. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're coming here, you can visit explore-niagara.com.